All right, we are back to do WWE Smackdown June 20th, 2017. I am Mike. He is Byron. Say hello to the people.
I feel as though you should do since this is SmackDown and they have the New Day, you should really be doing it like the New Day does it.
Clap!
W, W,
yeah.
SmackDown, train wreck!
It was.
Sorry, that kind of faded into Vince there for a second.
I know. It really did, but I mean, I'm happy with it because, frankly, this was a bit of a train wreck. We are going to dispense with our usual format of reviewing everything to... We're going to talk about the important part, which is the whole Money in the Bank catastrophe. And we will briefly tell you what happened with the rest of the show. And if you want to go watch it, go do that. If you want to give your thoughts on what happened, you can do that as well. But we were... We were not amused.
It's a mess.
A lot of this show, so let's kick it off. So we opened up with ladies bickering to start the show, and that's all I have to really say on that. Other than
holy shit.
Daniel.
So I skipped the entire first half hour of this. Every single moment of the first half hour, other than quick little 10-second stops to figure out what the hell was still going on, and then I moved on. So I skipped over the opening. How they gave her 10 minutes of Carmella just standing in a ring going, "I won money in the bank and I cheated and I won and I won and I cheated."
In all seriousness, this was a good promo just against a completely terrible backdrop. The delivery was good. She made logical sense, which, by the way, she shouldn't. Spoiler alert, she gets stripped of the briefcase, which makes no sense based on something we're going to talk about a little bit later. But, again, this is a terrible idea that, to be honest, Carmella and Ellsworth did the best they could do with it. It
Ellsworth
was going to be better.
Ellsworth is... I never really followed Ellsworth because, he's had zero WWE training, which actually probably makes him the best. And he's always a great heel, a great annoying heel, and he could instantly switch face. You could have Carmella turn on him in a heartbeat, and then he's suddenly face again. This guy would be very valuable to keep around, and I think they should. But I skipped all of that shit. What happened after that? Wasn't there some dumbass thing that happened after that?
Directly after that, we went to Charlotte kind of making her case for why the Money in the Bank should be stripped, which...
Skip.
Well, and I'll just quickly say it. This was bad because Charlotte comes off as a stone-cold bitch during this entire thing. She comes off as better than everyone else, and this worked when she was a heel. The problem is that I can't really figure out what the difference between Charlotte the face and Charlotte the heel is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So this was also bad. We had a New Day promo.
Skipped.
Yeah, we're skipping Big E versus Jimmy Uso, which was acceptable, but nothing great.
I have one, maybe two notes here. The match started and they immediately went to commercial. Stellar. And so I know that they're trying to do the picture-in-picture thing, which I guess is acceptable, but I can't see the match very well, and so I just skipped it. Anything that was in commercial, I just skipped. And I have the last note is I'm sure there was a match in here somewhere. Must have been during the commercials.
Well, the problem with the picture-in-picture commercial thing is you have no audio of the match. And that's a big part of the match. Even if you can see the match, if your TV is, massive, huge, whatever, and you can see the moves, does it really matter? Try watching, pick a match that you loved, and mute it, and watch it, and tell me if it's as good.
Yeah, Kenny Omega versus Okada immediately gets downgraded to 2 stars because you can't really see what's going on. Half the drama's missing because your excellent commentary team's being drowned out by "come on down and buy our grease at Wig's house," and nobody cares.
Yeah, so I mean, it's I can see the match. I can tell you what moves happened, but I'm lost in the atmosphere of the match. I don't have the crowd. I don't have the commentary. I don't have the sound. I don't have the impact of the match. It's just all gone. So it doesn't really work. It's better than a full commercial break, but just don't have commercial breaks during your matches. It's not like this match was tremendously long or anything. Daniel Bryan and Natty backstage, and Tamina's back there as well. This was terrible because it was basically Natty buttering up Daniel and talking about her cat. Tamina was the best part of this particular portion of the promo. That's not good.
Skipped it.
I don't blame you. I wish I did. I feel I need to know what happened, and that's the only reason I watched it.
Yeah, well, I watched like the first 8 seconds and like, oh, shame. Skip.
Yeah.
I will say that just to avoid hearing any other promos, let's see. Nakamura versus Ziggler was 10 times better than their original match. And I have a note right here off the hop because they did a couple of promo packages that I didn't skip. And they're like, Nakamura versus Ziggler later. And I was like, Nakamura Ziggler later? Again? This had better pay off. And Mahal versus Harper, this was a match they should have had to build Mahal up towards the title. This is not a match you have now.
Well, it was the same thing with the Mahal versus Mojo Rawley match from last week. Same basic deal. Yep. You should have been beating these guys to build up something. Like sideline here. The problem with the Jinder Mahal title push, and we've been through this, but to be blunt, is that it came out of nowhere. Like, he should have become the modern day damn, what is he calling himself?
Modern day Maharaja.
There we are. Modern day Maharaja with the Singh brothers for like a little bit. Done like hell, you only needed a month to kind of hype him up as a, win by distraction, Singh brothers being the key to a success heel, and this actually might have worked better, but you didn't do that. Basically plopped the title on him. He has passable at best matches, and wins basically the same way every time.
Jinder Mahal should be in the same position the Colognes are in. He's a decent worker, doesn't have the most charisma in the world, doesn't look weak in defeat, and you can just use him for stuff. This is not a champion. If Vince didn't have a bug up his ass to get into India, this would not be happening. Let's be real honest.
Yeah.
But back to the Nakamura Ziggler match, there weren't any massive high spots during the match. It was just a really well worked match. This is exactly what not exactly like this, but this is the kind of thing I expected to see for the debut match that they were supposed to have on the original pay-per-view. Is something like this, only probably with more strong Nakamura flavor to it than Ziggler. But Ziggler did a good job. Ziggler did a really good job. He's still not quite able to work in Nakamura's territory, but he's getting there. And this was pretty good.
Yeah, this was a pretty good match. I wouldn't say that this is like what I envision as a perfect match between these two. It'd have a little bit more of a high spot feel to it. I think if you were to come up with the best option for these two. But this was good. Had this happened at Backlash, I would have been much happier about it than what we got.
Indeed. The promo from Becky Lynch was amazing.
That was really good. That was the only backstage segment with Daniel Bryan that was good.
This was everything. This should have been happening all night, but apparently nobody else is even close to being written this way, or nobody else has the initiative to take what they're given and go in this direction, or I don't know. But this feeds into Becky Lynch is I think the only one keeping her own character on a certain level or on a certain trajectory, because she referenced things that have been going on with her character for over a year, and she's upset. I anticipated, like, after watching Enzo cry, I kind of expected to see her cry, but she kept it together, which was very interesting from like a guy who loves movies and loves acting. This was the best I'd seen in WWE since Monday. If it hadn't been for that amazing Enzo and Cass thing on Monday, I would have said probably the best I'd seen more than 6 months, probably since Jericho. Yeah, I think pretty much going back that far. I have a note saying Becky Lynch and Enzo needs to be a thing. That was a great fucking promo. Underline, boldface, italicized.
Yeah, no, that was a great promo. That was the highlight of the night. It was that promo right there. So a good time. Just to step back here for a moment, we're getting Naomi versus Lana next week for the title. Boom. Moving on.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Naomi on there, I first of all, when Naomi came on screen, I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" Because she's not covered in black light and like the shittiest yarn in her braids type scenario. And then Lana showed up, and I was like, "Oh, that's who that is." All right, skip.
Yeah, her promo was really bad. Lana came in and upstaged the heck out of her, and
oh, maybe I should go back and watch that then. My girl Lana.
Her ability to emote is really bad. I spend the entire time watching her cut a promo that, if properly delivered, probably wouldn't be overly appealing to me because I don't care for the character, the whole glow thing.
She is married to an Uso.
But the problem is that I can recognize a good promo even if it's not good to me. Nothing about this character is believable with her. Absolutely nothing. Moving on, we had an AJ Styles hype package or something. Then we had Kevin Owens cutting a promo, which is basically John Cena's U.S. Open Challenge is back in a nutshell. We get an acceptance from AJ, but he's not from Dayton. And then Chad Gable says, "I moved to Dayton this morning," and gives the address of the arena they're in.
Yep.
So we get a match, and it's fine. Gable gives a good accounting to himself. His suplexes are really good, but meh. The highlight of the match actually was probably Byron Saxton talking about how Owens dodged a bullet tonight. That was good.
Yeah. The one thing I could point to, and when he said the address, I was going, "Is that the address of the building?" Because that would be really funny, and nobody pointed it out. I didn't get none of the commentators went.
They did in the match where JBL points it out.
Yeah, but that was I think it was halfway through the match.
Probably wasn't a very long match.
Isn't that supposed to be JBL's job to go this building, or somebody like Cole, Cole's on something else. Who was it? Phillips. It would have been great if Phillips would have laughed and said, that's this building." Or something, somebody say something about something. That's about the... Other than that, yeah, I mean, Gable did a really good job. I said, what are my notes here? Literally everyone has botched lines. This is awesome. Nobody could say... Styles couldn't say Ohio. It was Ohio. I can't remember. That was one of the one that stood out the most. But everybody in this whole thing botched their lines. Gable did good work. Good stuff, enjoyable. That was all I had for this.
Yep, that's really all there is to say about this. I will say that the Face of America Open Challenge isn't as good as John Cena doing it, because John Cena was a huge star and treated as such by the company. Just being in there with him and having a competitive match would elevate you, and it did for Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Neville and him had a good one. Cesaro had a good one with him.
Oh, I bet.
I don't think Owens is going to have the same effect, but we'll see. Hype Bros want their title shot. They get a match with the Usos next week. Continuing on.
Good times.
Sami
Zayn and Ty Dillinger commercial.
It was
highlight
really good.
Of the night.
It was really good.
I give this one a 10.
This is one of the few times WWE has done a commercial reasonably well.
Fantastic.
It's really good.
I could watch those two do commercials. I would watch every commercial. You could sell me anything. Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger. Sign me up.
So
Could
Daniel,
those guys be a tag team?
That would be pretty good. Daniel Bryan comes out to make his decision. It is still amazing how over Daniel Bryan is, despite WWE's attempts to make him not over. That's stunning.
Yes.
So the problem with this promo is that he He talks about how the WWE officials have said that he has to do this without emotion, put his feelings to the side, and focus on the rules.
The fucking rules, right?
So he brings out all the ladies from the match. He makes basically all the points that why Carmella should be able to keep the briefcase. There was no rule broken. It's a match with no rules. But he basically just says this is uncharted territory. So, but I'm like, this is bullshit. I know you're going to strip her of the case because you can't have Daniel Bryan not do that. But you haven't really given me a logical reason for him to strip the case. You haven't. They kind of tried to give him one by Ellsworth butting in and making a complete ass of himself.
Yeah.
Which led to Daniel Bryan threatening to punch and fire him.
He said, I will punch you. I can't remember exactly. Punch you so hard in the face. Something. I have to tell. I really was hoping he'd say something about, I'm gonna punch you in the face so hard your jaw's gonna swell up and it'll look normal, or
that would have been good.
Something, yeah. But yeah, it was good. Let's see what do we got here. I was gonna step on your toes. I'm sorry. I noticed that there was 20 minutes left, and I forgot that there was supposed to be another match.
I also did. Not gonna lie.
So I'm like, there's 20 minutes left. They can do it right now. And then they did extended intros, and then there's an extended verbal cat fight, which I have extended intros, skip, extended verbal cat fight, skip. Yay, Danielson. Next week. I wanted it now. Too much hype, needs more fight.
Yeah, the cat fight was pretty bad. I don't have a problem with it being next week. You can hype it up and get people to tune in.
It's true, but fine. I still want to see it right away.
Yeah.
I liked, everything in this was not awesome. I didn't watch Becky's interjection. I'm sure Becky Lynch had an interjection that was good that I just skipped over.
They honestly cut her off really quickly and let the other girls talk more, which was retarded because they were all bad.
That's not a thing that can happen anymore. Becky Lynch is the best. And while I'm, skipping over things and watching things, I keep mourning the loss of any Hart versus Flair thing.
Yeah.
And I fantasy booking that I came up with while I'm skipping over this train wreck that Danielson saved. Is they should have brought Charlotte into SmackDown and then have Natalya immediately go over on her, and it becomes this whole veteran Hart versus younger Flair eventual, or it should have been a rivalry, and it could have been the best rivalry, and now we don't get to have that rivalry because they're booking Natalya the worst possible way.
They booked Natalya the worst possible way since day one. Like, she's terrible. Like, when we were talking about the promos earlier and we were putting Becky over and how everyone else did a terrible job, it's the material that they give these girls. Like, they have... Natty to them is crazy cat lady. That's it. Like, she starts trying to butter up Daniel about his son and then talks about her cat as if it's on... Or daughter. It talks about her cat as if it's on par with it. And it's like... For the record, you can have a cat and not be a crazy cat lady, but
I have a cat, and I'm not a crazy cat lady.
You're not a lady. You are a crazy man. You're just not a crazy cat man.
Fair enough.
But it's she's written so poorly. Tamina's not written at all, really. Carmella did sometimes decent stuff. Becky does good stuff, and Charlotte, like I said, heel face Charlotte's the same. So why the hell do I care about her as a face? Just go back to having her as a heel then.
Mm-hmm.
We finish off with natural selection on Carmella from Charlotte and then the disarmer from Becky. So I guess they're still kind of teaming with each other, maybe heading into this Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I thought that was one of the better natural selections I'd seen out of her in a while, because the last one I saw was, let's just say, garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Becky needs some slicker way to get into the arm breaker, but that's just me thinking out loud.
I largely have been saying that throughout her entire NXT and WWE run, to be honest, is the move could be a lot better if we could figure out a way to set it up more.
Yarp.
Then we had Jinder Mahal versus Luke Harper.
Ginger
It was a match. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah. Let's see. What I got notes. I'll fill in the rest of the video with just my awesome notes here. This has been an adequate mid-card match. See previous note about building a champ. There's still 6 minutes left. Where's Randy? I need a musical break. Oh, hey, cool. It's Corbin Dallas. Fun, fun, fun. I love a square dance. Look, who's booking this? Russo's kid? Hey, it's Randall. Holy shit, this is hilariously soft and foolish. So many knee bumps, so many gentle landings. What a train wreck. End of show.
That about sums it up. Also, it's kind of lame. Also, I'm going to make a logic point that King Ross actually came up with. I'm going to give credit for there. I don't usually watch King Ross, but I did watch him this time. How should I put this? So, if you're Carmella, you know you're probably going to get stripped. Like, you really have to feel it. Why don't you cash in the night of Money in the Bank or right at the start of today's show? Because you still have.
Correct.
You still have the Money in the Bank briefcase. You could use it right now. And they didn't. Even if they wanted to strip her, they could have had Daniel Bryan come out and at least stop her. But it would have built some credibility of her as this smart heel that they're trying to go for, which is bound to fail because she doesn't come off as smart. I'm sorry. Again, see my rant on her before. If she wasn't sleeping with who she's sleeping with, she would not be getting a push. So that was a bit of a problem. And it feels like they really just went back on their whole Money in the Bank ending because of the fan reaction, which was terrible. Like, to be honest, I get that you're going, like, you've realized that you did a bad thing and you're trying to go back on it. But I feel like you only realize it because of the fan reaction. And you didn't realize it beforehand, which is terrible, because you should have.
Yeah, look to your own psychology here, people.
And to be clear, I actually, I like the ending to Money in the Bank as a future ending. Like, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th Money in the Bank match, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the first one. And people have been pointing out that people have had help winning the Money in the Bank before in the men's ladder matches. The problem is that it didn't happen in the first one. The first one is a special moment, and no matter what they do next week, it's not going to wash this away. So it's actually even worse that they've stripped her of the crown or of the case to try to redo the first ever finish, because you can't do it. Once you've done it, it's done.
That is correct.
So that's all we got. This was not a good show, and was not going to be a good show with the way they handled this whole Money in the Bank thing. So,
no
disrespect to the rep.
That they had really good moments, and they don't have a clue. A, they don't have a clue how the hell they got those moments in the first place, and B, they won't have a clue as to how to use or replicate or anything like that. They're just like, wow, that was cool. What do we do next? I don't know.
If they don't put the briefcase on Becky, I'm going to be real pissed off. I fully expect them not to. I'm just going to be pissed off when it happens. Because she's the only one who told an adequate story here that makes me want to see her with the case.
Yep.
And that includes, like, I get, like, I don't want to see Crazy Cat Lady Natty with the briefcase. I don't want to see Charlotte with the briefcase unless she's going to go heel. And I don't want to see Carmella with the briefcase. And I have not been given any reason to want to see Tamina with the briefcase.
Also correct.
So, put the briefcase on Becky, but I'm predicting they're just going to put it back on Carmella and just actually have Ellsworth interfere with the match again, but have her climb the ladder and retrieve it. Because I think their thought is that their thought, I think, honestly, is that, ooh, people didn't like that Ellsworth climbed the ladder. No, we didn't like the fact that Carmella won the briefcase. We predicted she was going to. That was my prediction. That was a lot of.
It made the least amount of sense. You might as well just do it that way.
Well, it made sense in the heel-face dynamic of things, but that's about it. Because they treat Natty so poorly that, like, if this was me, it's like, and they came to me to book this and said, okay, we do need a heel to be carrying this briefcase. Because, admittedly, the heel carrying the case, I think, has a little more impact. And you have a face champion. Okay. You have Natty win it. Natty can go in there, have a really good match, and she can get her first women's title. Because she was Divas champion. And it's really sad that when Natty Neidhart retires, I'm pretty sure it's going to read one-time Divas champion.
That's not acceptable.
Yeah. So, I think we've outlined what we don't like about this pretty convincingly, if I may say so.
Yarp.
So,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to leave it at that. We'll be back with 205 Live and NXT probably tomorrow. And hopefully that will be better. I haven't watched it yet, so hopefully that will be better.
Yeah. Were we going to get some kind of big-ass match on 205 Live this week?
We are getting Rich Swann versus Neville.
Nah, I'm not sold. We'll find out.
You know what? They've had good matches before. I could see it being good if given time to work and so on. But yeah, they more or less have not handled Rich Swann post-title very well at all, and that's kind of
they haven't handled anybody. Well, it's taken them how long to get TJP anywhere near TV again since taking the belt off him? Like, he had to be interjected into an ongoing title feud. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me at the time, and as a long-term storyline, now it kind of makes sense, and you can see changes in his character, you can see character development, and that's good. But I think I'm still giving the kind of impression that that's accidental, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's a case of TJP being really, really good and not really anything to do done with the writing or anything, to be honest. That's all for today. You have anything to say to the people as we head out?
Buy me some more beer.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.